Today I want to talk about eliminating what doesn't help you to evolve, but we'll focus on people in general, people that surround us, I often say to you there's biological family and there's soul family. Biological family brought you to where you are. Those are your ancestors, your siblings, your parents, people that are around you as a part of your family. But then there's the soul family. Those are the ones with whom you resonate, the ones who inspire you, the ones who trigger you in a way that helps you to grow because they see who you can become, not just who you are right now. And I want to give you a message for this type of people you should eventually let go of, or at least distance yourself, because they're often your biggest or strongest anchors that are holding you in a certain version of yourself where you feel kind of stuck, you feel in this negative loop, and it kind of feels like you can't get out of it. So when you're surrounded with people who are encouraging you to constantly think negatively and talk negatively about others or around certain scenarios, those are the people that are caught in this negative thinking loop, and those people will never see your dreams as something to follow. They will never encourage you to do something that you appreciate, to do something that you value, or to do something that is big and important to you. Those people will always only see reasons why you shouldn't do it, why you can't do it, and why you will never achieve it. And those are the people that you should leave behind, or at least distance yourself. So if that's something you're interested about, something that may inspire you today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also check out our Instagram page, AttractPassion, where I'm sharing daily messages, daily reminders to uplift your spirit, some energy updates. So check it out. And also our second Instagram page, I Draw My Passion, where you can find my art gallery. And this year I will be giving away many free prints of my art, so giveaways will be there frequently. Check it out. And I hope, my friends, that everyone is having a beautiful start of the year. So there's a saying, eliminate what doesn't help you to evolve. So that's something important to think about, to reflect about, especially when we are noticing that we are not who we want to be, and not wanting like, oh, I want this and that, but we feel deep inside that we are not being the version of ourselves we can be. Like, we feel there's more I can give, there's more I can become, there's more I can do, there's more I can achieve, there's more I can create. Whatever you feel for yourself, people in our lives have a huge significance when it comes to how they're affecting us and how we think about ourselves when it comes to our self-confidence, and when we're surrounded with people who are constantly sabotaging us. And sometimes they're using jokes to do that, and for them it's funny, for you it may be toxic. Sometimes they're using just some random words like, oh, you're failing again, or something like that, and for you it's annoying because it's messing up with your growth mindset, or you're working on something that truly matters to you and they don't see a potential of it. So sure, if we can't move away from this kind of people, we always should see it as a drive, like I'm doing it for myself. But if it's possible for you, manage your life the way that you can move away from these people. Those are like dream vampires that are only blocking you so you don't feel inspired and motivated to get where you want to be. Then there are people who are encouraging you to do or to maintain unhealthy habits, who will say to you, hey, you can eat this, stop being so restrict with yourself, stop being so disciplined, you don't even enjoy your life, and so on. Move away from this kind of people, because there's a different attitude when we have a goal for something. Like, maybe you want to get in shape, maybe you want to get healthier, Maybe you just want to experience more mental clarity, and you know that diet has a huge part to it. And when people are constantly encouraging you into unhealthy habits, those people are in lower vibrations. Those are the kind of people who found comfort in the easy things in life, the comfort of easygoing. And in easygoing, there's no growth. And usually those people are unhealthy, they're much more negative, they are aimless, they have no goals, no vision for life. And those kind of people will always pull you into this kind of loop of lack of enthusiasm and lack of passion for anything, until you come to the point where all you see is what's wrong with the world. Those are the people who are constantly just judging what's happening on the world, what's wrong with the world. And when you find yourself being surrounded with those kind of people, you will start to think like that as well. If you surround yourself with these higher, greater ones, those who are aiming towards something great, who are doing something great, you will notice those people are not focused at all at what's happening on the world from this negative standpoint. They're looking at what's happening because they're asking themselves, how can I be a part of the solution? How can I inspire others? How can I produce something great? How can I help someone so I can eliminate suffering a little bit more? And I want to encourage you to find those kind of people. That's why community is so powerful. That's why we're seeing growth of many communities all around the world, because people just want to come together. Those who have same vision, who have same goals, who want to evolve, those people are coming together. And as I mentioned in this 2024 prediction, I said, many people this year will start meeting your same-minded, same-hearted people, because the time has come for many of you to come together, to find yourself, because it's just much easier and more inspiring when we actually can encourage one another to do something great. Then we have people who are constantly in a fear of failure. If you're surrounded with people who are in a constant fear of failure, those are the type of people to also move away from, because those kind of people will constantly be saying to you why you shouldn't go after your dreams, why you shouldn't do something new, why you shouldn't move, why you shouldn't change your job, why you shouldn't aim towards something huge, something truly important to you, why you shouldn't change your relationships, and so on, because they've been so hurt in their failures of life that they don't want anyone to try anything new, because they want you to prevent yourself from failures. But failures are good, because they always introduce us to parts of ourselves we've been unfamiliar with. And I think it's important to fail until we recognize what truly works. Whatever we do, at some point we recognize, okay, this thing truly works. But until we find it, we'll be failing. We'll be changing our job, and the job will be unsatisfying and unfulfilling, and it's okay. And we are moving to the next one and to the next one, until at some point we wake up and we say, well, I have enough of this. There's something completely else I actually always wanted to do, but I was too afraid to make it happen. Or you don't know at all what you want to do, and you just want to build more, maybe willpower, or you want to focus more, and you just want to do something that will give you a sense of discipline and focus and direction. And these people are really bothering you because they just want to keep you safe. I want to encourage you to move on, my friend, because there's so much to look up for. And it's, to me, it's so valuable when someone says to me, like, hey, I'm really inspired by what you're doing rather than why you're doing that. You're not, it's not for you, like what people will say. It's just so much greater when someone says to you, hey, I'm really inspired by what you're doing. And those are the people you need to have around. If you can't find them somewhere in books or in podcasts or anywhere. Because those are the minds that will help you to uplift your mind until you become a bit more independent within your own creative thinking. If we're too, let's say, bombarded by negative thoughts, it's sometimes hard for us to find this our own voice that should give us a direction in life. So most of the time we're hearing the voices of others. And I want to encourage you to firstly find a space in your mind so you recognize that all these stories you're hearing and telling to yourself are not yours. They're from people that were surrounding you. You're rather this awareness that is observing these stories. You're an observer. But from that standpoint of an observer, you need to come across a sensation that tells you who you truly can be. Who you truly can be. And I want you to ask yourself, who can I become? Who can I become? What's the greatest expression of myself? And then look up. What could you start doing? Because you will notice that there are people who are already doing that, or there are people who may inspire you to do something like that. But most of the time we recognize, in order to become who I can be, I need to move through the period of solitude, just so I can find my voice. And when I find my voice, then I need to embody it. And that's the hardest part of anything. When we start embodying that inner voice, when we start noticing, okay, if I really want to become this version of myself, like more compassionate, being more wealthy, being healthier self, or whatever it is that you're deciding, you need to change most of your habits. And to change most of your habits, it's quite hard if you're surrounded with same people as before, same people that are reminding you of your old state of being. You need to move away from that, to recognize that there's a project you're working on alone. Nobody will save you there. Nobody will help you to move through it. You're alone in this. And this phase of solitude may take you some time, maybe some years, and it's okay. And you may feel lonely here and there. Sure, you fall into the old version of yourself. You will feel lonely. You will need to deal with all these emotions. But don't run away from it. You may feel, well, I would love to meet that person. I would love to finally meet this new-minded people or whatever. But you're not there yet. Know that there's divine timing for everything. Know that everything will click at the right time. But right now, if you're in the phase of solitude, use it for growth. Use it as a phase of your life that will change you forever. So don't escape from it, don't rush through it, but actually use it for what it is offering to you. If you have a lot of time being alone, meditate more often, journal more often, study more often, be with yourself, and really recognize how uniquely you're functioning. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How can you work on it? How can you use your weaknesses to be more vulnerable? And how through vulnerability you can learn more of who you are and what are maybe your wounds and what's still holding you back and so on. And recognize this is the process of growth, right? That's why you needed to go through this phase. So there's many people who will say to you, you shouldn't do it. You're a weirdo. Some people will say to you, you're going crazy. But no, those are not your people. Those are not your people. Then there are people who are constantly complaining and people with a scarcity mindset, right? Who are constantly projecting onto you insecurities and reasons, again, why everything will will go wrong and how everything will go wrong, again, those are the people to not have around. If you have around people with limiting beliefs, most probably you do, know that those are not people who will encourage you into any type of a growth. Those are people who will, again, they just want you to stay the same because that's what's familiar for them. But know that your life doesn't need to be a story of their mindset. And it's time for you to get yourself back into an order of your set intentions. So when you have an intention for who you are becoming, now get into the position where you're in control of becoming that you. And you will notice that it's really not an easy process. That's why I'm making daily videos, because I know that some of you may feel inspired today, but tomorrow you will lose it. And sometimes when we're working on something that is really, really new for us, we recognize that inspiration is not enough, and being motivated is not enough, and reading books is not enough. It's what truly works is doing, being a doer, and working on it even when you think you're completely failing, when you think that actually nothing is working like it should. You keep up, because what you're doing is you're getting yourself into the process of change, and the process of change is something unknown. So how can you say that it's going well if it's unknown? How can you say that it's going right if it's unknown? So all you know is that it's unfamiliar. And when it's unfamiliar and you don't see wanting results, you think you're failing. But you're changing, and change requires time. And time, again, is the unknown process, because we like to stay in the familiar zone where we can predict everything. But when we get into the unfamiliar zone, we can't predict anymore what will happen. So sure, you don't see results because you can't predict when something will happen. You don't see results because they didn't happen. But because they didn't happen, you're losing faith in results. And because you're losing faith, you're also losing motivation. And because you're losing motivation, you're losing drive. And you think that drive is the thing that should keep you going. But it's actually your will that's keeping you going. And will can work with drive or without a drive. Will is this, it's this part of our intention that drives action. Will is when you decide, I will take one step today, or 2 or 3 or 100, and tomorrow I will do the same, and the next day I will do the same, because those who don't quit, sooner or later they get to where they wanted to be. And it's just up on will. And if you have certain practices that will allow you to raise your frequency into a greater state of gratitude, into a greater state of joy. You know, if you get inspired by someone who may be like an embodiment of completion, of wholeness, you will see that it is possible. It's not possible for you right now, maybe because you don't have the tools that they have, you don't have the mindset that they have, you don't have the purity in the soul that they have, but you're working on that. And if you find someone as a source of inspiration for you right now, you will notice that it's not so far away. It's just taking few steps today, and then taking few steps tomorrow, and then keeping up with that, and soon you will notice that you're becoming more of that new self and less of the old self. And for that, I'm sure you have to leave these certain people behind that you would maybe describe as toxic or negative, or people who just have decided to stay in their limited box. Nothing wrong with that. We all have a free will, we all have our own story to walk, and we all have our own karma and our own cycles and patterns to deal with. So nothing wrong with any of that person. It's just who you are deciding to be and what you're willing to do to become it. And will you be the dictator of your life, or you will just let all these external voices to guide you through your journey? So it's really up on you. And I hope you can find something valuable today, something to inspire you, that it's completely okay if you leave your family behind. If you feel a need to, it's completely okay to leave your friends behind. If you feel a need to, it's completely okay to leave anyone that was a big part of your life behind because you've noticed that they don't inspire you to grow anymore. It's completely okay. So I hope you found something valuable today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in our Etsy store, I Draw My Passion. The link is in the description of this video. Check it out. If any painting resonates with you, it's a sign that it's for you. So check it out, my friends. Until next time, one love.